What is up, guys? Dotzler here. This video is going to be a commentary regarding the TitanFall beta about both my impressions and a short synopsis of the game. The gameplay is from the PC version at full 1080p resolution, with everything set to ultra, with anti-aliasing and VSync turned down, recorded at full quality. This video is cut into different sections with highlights from each game mode, with a look at both maps available in the beta. First, Hardpoint Domination on Angel City. The second is Last Titan Standing on Angel City as well. And finally, it's Attrition played on Fracture. So, here we go. The first thing that I want to talk about in this video is the reservations I had going into the beta. Originally, when the game was announced, as well as the platforms that it would be on, I was disappointed. I've been a long-time fan of PlayStation and have only recently made the move to primarily PC gaming, so the reason that was disappointing to me is that the game is published by EA, which means that it would have to be played through Origin on PC. Thankfully, I'm one of the few people who have not had many bad experiences with EA, so I'm not going to be boycotting them or their products. I've not bought SimCity or Battlefield 4, so I didn't have to deal with those horrendous launches. The only thing I can think of was the Battlefield 3 PlayStation 3 deal with Battlefield 1943. I did eventually get a free code, so there's no real problem there, but that aside, I was still a bit worried. Another reason for being cautious about Titanfall was that as of late, I've been getting very bored of first-person shooters. It seems like things might be slowing down in that direction in the industry, or perhaps there's just better games of different genres coming out. But either way, FPSs are becoming exceedingly stale to me. The last reason somewhat relates to it, being that Titanfall is made by the remains of the original Infinity Ward. Though Modern Warfare is what got me into first-person shooters, and Modern Warfare 2 being what got me into multiplayer gaming, Infinity Ward still makes first-person shooters. They're the developers that other studios were desperate to copy, which means that at this time, there are numerous copycats and even better games out there now. If Respawn stuck to what they knew, the game wouldn't be anything special and instead might be even bad. Now, after having played the Titanfall beta, most if not all those concerns can be laid to rest. Mainly that the game would be stale and unoriginal as well as boring. I say this with the utmost certainty that playing Titanfall has been one of the most exhilarating experiences as of late in gaming for me. The main reason being, at least from my perspective, that everyone is a winner. Unless you're utterly terrible and cannot even kill the boss. Then, well, you might as well not even try. The way I mean that everyone is a winner is that no matter how many pilot or Titan kills you get, there's still NPCs to kill. You're probably wondering why there's only 12 player-controlled characters per game, and you're probably mad at that when they say that there's countless more NPCs on the map at the same time. Why can't a player take up an NPC slot? Well, the thing is that the Titans are more pivotal to the gameplay than I thought previously. I was worried that there'd be something like a kill streak in Call of Duty where there could be only a certain amount called in at once just to give your team or yourself a boost against the enemy. Well, they're much more than that. Going back to the reason that they've maxed out the player count to 6 versus 6 is because that every player can have a Titan on the ground at once, as in Last Titan Standing. If there were more, then the maps would be terribly congested, even more than they are in Angel City playing Last Titan Standing. More would make the game terribly unbalanced and not to mention confusing. The way the Titans work in the game are much more important than the number of players on the map. Quality over quantity, and by that I mean if there were too many Titans on the map, then the players wouldn't rely so much on skill and tactics instead of sheer numbers of Titans against Titans. It's sometimes a problem with Last Titan Standing, as it is. 4 or 5 of the players go one way while the last few go another. If the other team has 3 go one way and the last 3 go another, they're more likely to have an easy go with the smaller group, and the same even with the larger when they're all clustered up for splash damage and getting in each other's way. Still, if that's the reason for making 6 versus 6, then I still don't understand why there's a need for NPCs in the first place. Sure, they're an easy kill and it makes the battlefield more hectic and exciting, but they don't serve any real purpose. They usually just shoot each other unless a player-controlled pilot comes into their line of sight, but they still offer no challenge whatsoever. Perhaps it's just to fill the map because of the size they're required to accommodate for the Titans, but they don't do anything other than confuse and sidetrack the players. There's another issue I have with the game, but it's not about functionality. It's about the seemingly unnecessary integration of single-player elements into the game. Titanfall is multiplayer only, and for me, it doesn't really enhance the experience, but it's just merely another distraction. Lately, I've been drifting away from online first-person shooters, and I've been getting more and more into single-player stories and campaign. What I find so odd is that Respawn has decided to put in so much thought into the lore of Titanfall, which was evident by the training simulation, but there's nothing but competitive multiplayer. It's really quite a lost opportunity because Call of Duty campaigns were really what they had focused on most until even the first Modern Warfare. Perhaps they have some kind of cooperative multiplayer or even single player planned for the future, or even a sequel, but I still find it highly disappointing. So, onto the gameplay. This is the game mode Attrition played on the map Fracture. The game mode is most similar to Team Deathmatch, but because of the Titans and NPCs playing, it is not as straightforward as it would be in Call of Duty or other games. The objective is to kill all enemies, yeah, but each enemy kill contributes more or less than others. I don't know the exact numbers because the scoreboard in-game is extremely confusing at times, but I would assume that Titans are worth the most points, with pilots in second, and then Grunts and Spectres in last. Grunts and Spectres are the NPCs. Grunts are the normal infantrymen, and Spectres are robots, but they both act essentially the same. I played these 3 games together, but they're not played in order. I leveled up several times and earned burn cards. Burn cards act similar to death streaks, but not entirely so. You have 3 slots that you can unlock at different levels that you can fill with a different card. It can only be used as many times during a match as you have slots filled. There are better weapons, Titan upgrades, and character upgrades to choose from that you spawn with, but are gone once you die. Playing as a pilot on the ground is pretty straightforward, and it feels like you would expect from a Respawn game. It's very fast and fluid. The odd thing is that, at least to me, the gunplay does not feel like one of Infinity Ward's Call of Duty games. It feels more like Black Ops 2, which is a Treyarch game. It's probably just coincidence, but unlike Black Ops 2's gunplay, Titanfall is functional. All in all, I'm very excited for the game, and I'm very happy that it's turned out better than expected. Titanfall runs on Valve's Source engine, which was a great engine, but it's very old and getting outdated. Another surprise to see that my computer can run at all the settings on Ultra considering that, but other than a few things, I'm relieved to say that I'm pleasantly surprised by Titanfall. Thank you for watching, and hopefully there will be more commentary in the videos to come.
Fatality.